The following review is going to be on Transformers Age of the Primes Commander Class Aerialbot Silverbolt. Stay tuned. Rodimusbill here, and today we're going to do a review on Transformers Age of the Primes Aerialbot Silverbolt Commander Class. Now, just like Menasor, this comes with Silverbolt and a skeletal frame of Superion, but we'll get to that later. First look at the box, more than meets the eye. This is 3 of 5 Superion, 44 steps from robot to jet, 8+, Transformers Age of the Primes Aerialbot Silverbolt. And we've got the 3 that are out: Slingshot, Air Raid, Silverbolt. Here's Silverbolt in his robot mode. Aerialbot Silverbolt. And on the back, collect to combine. Now it says Slingshot on this arm, Air Raid, but Slingshot is actually on this side and Air Raid is actually on that side. So they're backwards. There is Silverbolt in his SST mode or Concord mode. There is a superjet mode, and there is a battle station mode. So they had to make it worthwhile, the Commander class price, and there is the skeletal frame of Superion. Now, the Aerialbots were my favorites of all time. That and Rodimus Prime will always be my favorite Transformers. And this is how he comes packed. You've got the Silverbolt right here. And then you had the 2 guns. And then here, when you unpack this, I suggest you take like a razor and just cut all the tape over here. That way you can just slide these out. And then this whole piece comes out like that. And there is nothing in here, so you have that. And then what you got is this big piece. You got Silverbolt, a little mistransformed. Oops, let me, there. Excuse me. You have kind of like his old Silverbolt's gun. And then you got this big gun, which does a lot of folding up. And then the instructions. So first we're going to take a look at the instruction book. We're going to go all over it. I wasn't going to rush this review. I was going to make this a nice review. So you got Silverbolt, the station, the guns. So how you transform it into a jet. All this good stuff, and then that's how you combine it. And then next is you take them apart in the 2 pieces, and then you've got Silverbolt, and then you've got the battle station, and then you flip it over. That's how Silverbolt becomes the head of Superion. And then you take the extra accessory piece, and then you make it the legs, and then you follow this to be the chest piece, and then the arms, I guess, and then that's how you put the robots into the arms. You got Slingshot as the arm, Air Raid as the foot. And I know it's the wrong arm. And then over here, you can put the 2 guns together, make one big gun. And this says Air Raid and Slingshot. Now, the original cartoon, you had Slingshot and Air Raid over here. So this is a little backwards, but we'll show you both ways. And that is the big, because when this came out, there was no Fireflight or Skydive. All right, the gun, just to show you on the gun, you have a little 5mm port right there, which you can just bring it out. So this could fit in Superion's arm or hand, or what you can do is you fold it up and you could, I will show you how you can attach to the arm, and this sticks on the end and he makes a very, very long gun. Too long for me, but, and then going back to Silverbolt, now to finish transforming him, first you want to just put your finger right here, pull this up, and then you can just twist your finger, swing the nose cone out, stick that there, turn this sideways, and if you want to do the wheels, that's front wheel, these are the back wheels right here. And again, Silverbolt's wheel is in Superion's head, just like Slingshot wheel is in his head. And I don't know why they keep doing it, but they are. Oh, goes the other way, like that. And these things, I'm gonna lose these. They keep popping out. You know, I was thinking maybe I could put little Elmer's glue, not super glue. I don't want it to be permanent, but maybe Elmer's glue. And there is the jet. And you can take this, stick it on the bottom, and also the SST, the Concorde, the nose did angle down so the pilots can have a better look at it. And that was it. So this is the SST or supersonic transport or Concorde. Now the Concorde was the fastest plane ever, or at least for commercial, and after a few accidents they discontinued them. So let's take a look real quick. Yeah, you'll have the gold windows. They're the cockpit windows there. And then you got the windows all along here, which is pretty accurate to the show. You got the tail fin, and then you got the wings. You got some paneling here. You got like little thrusters here. You got 1, 2, oh, and I forgot. You could, these wings fold in, so let's just pop those out. Yeah, now it looks a little better. Let's see. All right, so you got the Autobot symbols on the wings. You got more little thrusters here. You got some cool paneling all along here. You got paneling there. You got some gold paint right up there. The back, he doesn't look too bad if we flip these up. I mean, those are his legs, but you really can't tell. The side. Now, Superion's head does stick out a little, but there's nothing you can do about it. But in bottom, it's, I mean, he transforms almost the same as almost like the Combiner Wars, where you just put the legs around here. But the arms are completely different, the legs are different, and everything is different. So, and from that side, he doesn't really look the greatest. But you got these things. I mean, these are the feet. I mean, there's not much. You can't do much with the feet. So, it is what it is. Yeah, you just can't do anything with it. And that is the basic supersonic transport Concorde. Pretty cool. Now, next is, oh, I always do that backwards. It's this way. And these things keep falling off again. All right, so that is Superion, or Silverbolt's jet mode. All right. We're going to put him to the side right now. Now we're going to take a look at the skeletal. This is basically the rest of Superion. There's from the bottom. You can see what's going to go on. But from the top, it is what you want to do now with this is, first thing you do is you just want to take these flaps and extend them out. Gives it a little more wing. Okay, then you come on here, and these are only for this mode. So you want to pull these out like that. All right, and then you want to take this gun. All right, and you want to fold this like that. All right, so what you're gonna do is you want it in this spot, because you got a hole right there, a tab, and you've got this peg right there. So what you do is you just drop this in here. Let's see. No, that's not right. Oh. All right. So what you want to do is you want to make sure this tab goes in this slot and this just rests there. I wasn't sure if it went into that hole or not, but it doesn't. It just goes like that. Then you want to take Silverbolt. Oh, that's good. I just popped off the landing gear. Oh, this is going to be interesting. Now I got to make sure this doesn't fall off. All right, it just pops back that on. Now, you got to make sure his legs are pretty straight right back here. All right, so what you want to do is you want to take the tail fin and you want to flatten it out. Okay? And then what you want to do is you want to get these around the gold legs. So he just pops in here. You pull these up and then you can just pop these in like that. And then when you close them, you got this little tab goes into that slot. So there's that side. And then you come over here and do the same. And that side. And this is your super spaceship mode, I guess. And that is your spaceship mode. Yep. Oh, and you can either, I guess, let's see. Let's put these legs down. It doesn't matter because they don't even touch. So, let's check the box real quick. And this big old behemoth. Yep, and that is spaceship mode. So, I mean, not bad. I mean, they had to do something with it. It's not like Motor Master. So, and it seems to blend pretty good. You got all the detail in here. You got more paneling here. From the back, yeah, it looks like Superion's doing a split, but I've seen worse. And from the side, it's not much to look at. Now, the bottom's not too bad. These are the legs of Superion. These are the arms of Superion. Actually, there's the fists. But you know what? I do like this mode. At least it gives you something to do to the body. So there is the super spaceship mode. And I like it. Very heavy. This thing does have a lot of weight. All right, so the next mode we're going to go in. Let's see. And we fold these up to unpeg it. And we just want to pull this out. Let's pull these down because you never use these again. Let's pull the gun out. And let's get him back to normal. All right. And what we'll do is, actually, we'll save this battle station till we have him transformed into robot mode. Okay? Now we're going to do some comparisons. Okay, now our first comparison, we're going to bring in his fellow Aerialbots. Wave 1, I guess you'd call this, with Age of the Prime. So that is Slingshot. So you can see how the difference between Slingshot and Silverbolt is. And then we'll bring in Air Raid. So not bad. I mean, from the top, they've nailed the G1 aesthetics. I mean, just they really did a good job. So we'll have Silverbolt and the two jets. Not bad. So pretty cool. And I can't wait to get the whole team together because these guys are going to look awesome. And then our next comparison, we're going to bring out Motor Master. So, again, this is a skeletal of Motor Master. Actually, you know what? We'll just compare. We'll bring this out later. So, here is Motor Master to Silverbolt. So, we got a little, so, are both, they're Voyager size, but their commander classes due to everything else. And then we're going to bring in This is the Combiner Wars Silverbolt. I mean, when this, I had the original Aerialbots when I was a kid. So the Combiner Wars was like a great upgrade. And now that I see what they're capable of doing it, I'm like, oh my God, this is the set that I should have had when I was a kid. So, a little more futuristic. They took a lot of liberties with Combiner Wars. And then you can also move that down, and you can move this down a little. So there's your two Silverbolts. I also have a Silverbolt 30th anniversary edition, but I don't know where he is. We're going to bring in good old Commander Class Optimus Prime Cab. So, the daddy of the Aerialbots. So we'll do that. Pretty neat. Whoa, excuse me. And then we're going to bring in VORTEX. We got our first Combaticon of Age of the Primes. And yes, VORTEX can and will fit on Superion's arm, which you will see later. Okay, and that is it for comparisons in vehicle mode. Now we'll transform him. And you know what? We're going to do one more comparison. We're going to put this guy back together with the superjet mode. We'll call this the space mode. All right. Just because I want to show you guys everything that he can, all the comparisons that we can do. We'll do that. We'll do the gun. Oh. There, now. We're going to do that. Now we're going to bring out, let's see if we can get these two guys in the picture. Yeah, Motomaster's wheels. We're just going to go back out. There is, you got your super space shuttle mode. And then we'll just flip sides like that. And there is your two combiners. Pretty cool. Two commander classes going at you. All right, now we're going to transform Silverbolt into robot mode. So now transform Silverbolt into his robot mode. Remove the gun. Put the wheel up. And we're just going to put these back down. Okay, so first we're going to take this piece. And we're going to detach it. And we're going to, it's very tricky. You're going to push it up and back. All right, so you don't want to snap these off. Then we're going to come over here. We're going to lift up right here. We're going to tuck this away like that. And we're going to lift this up. And we're just going to see, and it unsnaps, and we're just going to leave it there for now. All right, and take the wings and fold them up for now. And this is what you have. So we're going to start on the legs. So untab this. It'll tab in right there, and you want to make sure you get the hand inside the leg. So you swing this down, rotate it, and then push the foot down, and then come over here and take the heel down. Okay? Now let's do the same on the other side. You're going to pull this down, turn this over, put the foot down, and they give you a little break in the front so you can just grab the foot. And there is your little mini Superion. Okay, now let's do the other part, the top. So we're going to pull this down. Let's see. Pull these up. And we're going to pull this down. You might want to push down and see how we're pulling silver. Now, I'm afraid this is going to crack one day. But you want, there's Silverbolt's head. You want to flip that up. And then you want to take these arms right here and rotate them to the side. You take these, rotate these to the side. Now, there's going to be tabs here that's going to go in these slots. So the head, you want to make sure the head's facing this way. And push the head down till it snaps. Now, if you don't have the head down until it snaps, what you do is you got to get the horns inside these little cutouts right here. Okay, so, and you want to fold this back up. My joint's tight. I keep thinking I'm going to break it. Now what you do is you'll have that tab go into here. There we go. And on the other side too, then you got the top tab goes into there. Okay, and then tabs back here. So you got these tabs back here. You got this tab that slides in that groove, and you got this one. Okay, put the skirts down. Now the hands are pretty easy. You just fold these down, come back here, pull out the hand, and that's it. So you pull this down, come back to here, pull out the hand, and then you want to work on the back. So you got that moved up. Now this, what's going to happen is you're going to have these two tabs fold in these two. So split the wing, and then you fold that down. And what's going to happen is, actually, you know what? They tell you to, I'm afraid this is going to break. I don't like how they did this. And I think on Superion, you can get so it rests inside there, like that. Let me double check real quick. Yeah, you want to keep that tail fin full like that. And then that snaps in. And there is your Silverbolt. I'm going to put a little picture right here of what he looks like in his cartoon version. Close, but the one thing that I wish was a little different. Oh, and you could fold these little wings in. And you can have the wings folded like that or like that. But his Autobot symbol belongs right here, not on the chest. I'm sure Toy Hacks will solve that. And I wish these were a little higher, because like this looks like it's all one piece, but here they're all different. But from the Combiner Wars version, this guy is pretty cool. And that face sculpt, they nailed it. Yes, he's got a big backpack. And yes, you can take it off by the friction hinge, but I'm not going to do it. And then, let's see, we'll put his little gun here. And it's probably blast effect compatible, but I don't have any blast effects right now. So, there is Silverbolt. Very, very cartoonish, geo-inaccurate. Let's look at that face sculpt. Pretty cool. We got the blue eyes, the silver face, and he's got the cream, I guess. He's not really white, but he's not really gray neither. You've got the red down here. You got the wheels with the skirts. So these go up if you want to move them, but we'll do that in a minute. You got the gold legs, the white feet, the black feet. I love the red right there. So all in all, I mean, but he does have a backpack. I mean, in the original cartoon, it's funny because you see this, the whole thing gets absorbed into his chest, but that's not possible. Could you have maybe one more bend? I guess you could have, but it's not too bad. He's Silverbolt, so. And articulation, the head does a whole 360 degrees. It's got plenty up and down movement. If you move the wing back, the arms got 360 degrees. It goes out all the way. A little more than 90-degree bend. You got upper rotation, upper arm rotation, and unfortunately, nothing at the hand. You think for a Commander class figure, they could have done hands. He does have a waist swivel, which you'll probably never use, but he does have a waist swivel. And I'm not going to go all the way around because it doesn't go all the way around, but it does have some movement, which is pretty good. Let's see. Other arm the same way, goes out. Feet. Lift up his skirt. He can kick forward 90 degrees. Kick back, not too far. And he's got a soft ratchet. Hear that soft ratchet. And the knees, now he's got double bend at the knees due to transformation. So you've got very good knee articulation. And then, of course, as with all figures, he's got ankle rotation. ankle tilt, so you can get him in this little pause like that, a little pose like that. And that is Silverbolt. Not bad at all. All right, next let's do the battle station. Then we'll do other robot comparisons. How about that? Now to make the battle station, we're gonna take apart this. So first you want to lift this up, and we got to unpeg it here. It's got these two tabs going to these big grooves, and we just pull it out. You'll get these two tabs will fit right in here. Now, depending on how often you transform these guys, you're never gonna move these back all the right way it is. But the correct way is basically you take the stand as it stands up, all right? What you wanna do is you wanna move this, close this like that, all right? So this is gonna be on the ground. And what you wanna do is you wanna get, there, I believe you want it so this tab is facing that. Now I think the original configuration goes like that, but once you transform it like this to put it in this mode, you will probably never go back again. There's no reason to. And then what you want to do here is, I believe, okay, you flip this over, and you can have these out, either one. So you're gonna get this tab, right? You're gonna get it, oh no, you don't want the tab. You want, I'm sorry. All right, you want it to go like this. So you don't want that tab. What you do is you want this tab. You want this slot. Okay, so rotate it like that. Like I said, once you rotate like this, later on Superion, that's the legs, you can mess with it later. But, so, because what's going to happen is you have these two tabs here. Only one of them is going to fit like so. Oh, you got two of them. You got one full tab and one half tab. So what you want to do is you want to slide that in there. So that's one tab. And that's two tabs. Now basically that is it. And then you take the gun and you can extend it. Now what you do is you got these two slots on each side, and you got these two. This is where it pegs into the back on the superjet mode. So you just slide that down like that, and that is your artillery. And then if you want, you can stick this on the end, and then you can have Silverbolt. Oops. Let's go back. There you go. Now you've got Silverbolt on his artillery cannon. Not the greatest, but you know what? It is what it is. So it's something. You know, the Motormaster has a battle station mode that I don't think I've ever put him back in it since I got the darn thing. But, and you can see, either way, there it is. So, there. All right, so that is Silverbolt. And now I'll do some robot-to-robot comparisons. We're just going to put this to the side for right now, and let's do some robot. Here, let's get him down here. Get him down here. We'll get his original gun in here. All right, now we'll do some comparisons. Now, for some robot-to-robot comparisons, we're going to bring in Slingshot and Air Raid. Here, we'll put him in the middle. Now, the size, I kind of wish they would do them all the same size, but I know that's not possible. But this is a lot better than the original ones. So that's how we have those guys there. We're going to bring in Commander Class Optimus Prime. So there is those two guys. Silverbolt. I want you to become leader of the Aerialbots. It'll give you something to, yeah, you know that. Let's see. Now, Combine Horse Silverbolt. Oh boy, this guy's hands were kind of too close to his body. I mean, was it a step up from the other one? Yes. But he had its problems too. Let's see. Our other, now his nemesis, Motor Master. Pretty cool. So you got Motor Master. There, well. Our 2 commander class. Combiner teams. And we're going to bring in VORTEX, our deluxe Combaticon. And I'm going to bring out Blaster, because he famously said, oh man, he gave up his life. And Prime said, no, Blaster, 1 Autobot gave his life so that 6 could be reborn. They made a choice, the kind of choice I hope they'll be to make someday. So Blaster was there at the beginning, so there is Blaster. All right, and I think that is it for comparisons. So let's take this guy apart now. So we unpeg these from there. We're going to set this up like this, okay? Ratchet the legs down. And you want, this is like our combiner peg port, be in the back. All right, and there's that. Now for the arms, just gonna pop them down. Now what they do is, to make sure you got them right, you got a peg and a slot and a square, so these go right there. Okay, just like, now these are very similar to the other ones, where you just flip them up and extend them. Now, it's supposed to fold into this groove there and that half groove, but you might not get them to pop out. Actually, you know what? We'll keep these arms like that now because we'll show you how to do slingshot. So we're just gonna pop these out and we're just gonna pull the hand out and put those to the side. Now the legs. Now these are pretty cool. So you take the leg, you take this, flip this up, and then you flip the joint up, and then you come in here and push the foot down. It'll snap in like that. And these you just fold in for extra stability, like that. Now they work the same way Menasor does. When you put the figure on here, you push this black thing in and it closes. Now, I used to love the Aerialbots, but you know what? I never noticed they were both red and black until the set came out. Then I'm like, holy crap. Now, if you want to know if this is a right or left one, ankle tiltage. It only goes one way. That's the right one. Or looking at it, it'd be left. Other foot, snap that in, pull this out, flip this up, push the feet down, and there you have the arms. And let's do Silverbolt. So basically we're going to put him back into his jet mode. So pull his arms up, and then we're just going to fold his hands up like that. We're going to pull this out, and we're going to take Superion's head and pull this up. And then we're going to put Silverbolt's head away and snap that back like that. And then you'll see a little tab right there at the chin and a little space right there. So we'll just get that all nice and squozen. Okay, the feet, let me back up a little. There you go. So fold the feet in, just put these like you would normally. Rotate, and now here's where you use that double joint. You want to get this hand in this slot right here. So it's easier if you come back here first, do the double joint, and then There we go. Oh, you know what? Nope, I forgot to do the chest. Oh, I'm sorry. My bad. My bad. Fold this in and then do it. Yeah, you got to fold these back in like so. And then you can close this up. Let's see. Fold these in. Okay. So you fold that in. And so now what you want to do is you can get this double there, like that. And you push that together. Other foot, rotate it. Now you want to get that double joint. So let's move it up like that first. And then push this in here. I forget what this reminds me of, but there's another figure like that. All right. Oh, and then we want to come back here and we're just going to loosen this up for right now. Okay, we're going to loosen that up for right now. Now we're going to take this. Now we have these two tabs right there. Are going to go into here. So now we're going to plug this in. Now then you're going to get these will plug into the chest. Okay. So you want to plug that in, plug these into the chest. And then what you want to do is come back here and this will plug into the back like that. And then this was going to peg into there. Shift that up. There. Okay. And then bring this down again like you did before. Snap that in. So he's all connected now. Okay. Now combiner wars are on the back. Good. The feet. The combiner ports are on the back of the feet. So you take the legs. And we've all seen this before. Slide that in there. Slide that in there. I'm going to have to raise my camera up. Oops. And then we'll look at one arm first. Now, we're going to bring in Slingshot as the plane mode. All right. You can always tell which way by the thumb. So this thumb is going to be this hand. Let's get this straightened out for a minute. Okay. Now, this little black tab, it's what's going to break them in half. So you want that little white tab right there. So you want to get these two tabs here. So it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay. So we're going to put all this in here. Now that he's in there, he should be able to break free. So, just like Manosaur, you want to... oh, this thing is actually... You know, my son had a good idea. He says when you do it, it's easier if you do this way. See the 4 screws in there. Let's see, these tabs in there. And then you can separate. Why won't this damn thing separate? All right, so what my son suggests is when you put these 4 tabs here and this black tab splits in half, you've got to have all the way down, in other words, to break him in half. So you got to push him in deep. Now see? And now you can pull this out. And then you can just put these in with these 2 tabs down here. Like that. Okay? And then like Motor Master, what you want to do is unhook this and bring this down on that joint like that. Again, that's normal position. You bring it down on that joint, snap it in, and this is all good. And just like the Combiner Wars, you snap that in, and we'll show you on this other arm. See, you break this, right, and then you bring it down on that arm. Again, you want to break this connection and bring it down on that arm. And that's what extends the arm. And then you can just put that there. Okay, now let's do the foot. Now for air raid and skydive, what you want to do is from jet mode, act like you're going to put them in regular mode. That's how you transform them. But what you want to do is you want to take the head and flip it back. And this has an extra joint like that. That is the proper way to do it. And then, actually, let's just take the foot off. And then what you want to do is you got these two tabs, these two, and you got these two square ones right in the arms. Now, when you push them in, remember, you're going to push this black, and it's going to close the doors. So get those set up. All right, and you're going to push these in. You're going to push these in. And you hope the door stays shut. So then you want to do this, put the leg back on. And now you have half of Superion. Pretty cool. Now, yeah, this does stick out a little, but what you can do is some people, you can either have it like that, but that is the official configuration. And then slingshots on the arm. And if you want to take VORTEX right now, so let's just do articulation. So Superion's head turns around, goes up and down. And then his arm, you got the complete ratchet. You've got elbow. You got it out like that. And you got wrist articulation and elbow. 360 of the elbow. You got a waist. Pretty good. Not on a ratchet though. Other arm is the same. And then you got little skirt pieces, so you could kick almost 90 degrees forward. There's no ratchets though, I'm surprised. Back, there's a side ratchet. Thigh swivel. And if you put this down, you can bend at the knee. You can do almost 90 degrees. It depends on how you make your jets. And that is basically Superion. And he's nice. He's got a little back kibble. You can either do it like that. You can do it like that. And we'll just rotate him around. And I'll put a picture right here of what he looks like in the cartoon. Very, very nice. And then let's do VORTEX. So the easiest way to do it, and he's again the same way. So what you might want to, let's see, he goes a weird way. So VORTEX goes this way, up like that. Does he? No. VORTEX goes... he would go like this. Okay. So you're looking at these horizontal things, and there's the thing for the middle. So you put them in like that. You got to push them down all the way, and then you could pull out the head, and then snap this on, And then you can come up here, and now you've got VORTEX as an arm. And that's pretty cool. I mean, that's kind of like how the Combaticons is going to look soon. And Superion, I mean, he's got the red Autobot symbol there. Again, I guess that's why they put it there, so you could see it in Superion mode. Because if it was covered up, you'd have this covered up. I mean, this is all comic accurate. The red and black are accurate. Now, the only thing is he never had an arm like that, or not in most cartoons. He didn't have an arm, it was just the body, but it works. And then to show you what the other one looks like. Now, what you can do is you can put the gun in his arm, but you got to get that 5mm peg. And this is a long gun. And if you put Silverbolt's gun on, it is a wheel longer. Or what you can do is you got that little square right there. You can fold that here, and you can just stick the gun here. Put the 5mm port in. There you go, and now it's stuck to his hand, so it's a little better. All right, so now we're gonna bring in the Combiner Wars Superion, and let's see, much difference. I mean, what would you like? You know, as a kid, I've always wanted this one. So my original Superion is boxed up. I haven't mentioned it yet, but we flooded during Hurricane Helene, so all my Transformers are boxed up into totes everywhere. Now I took the ones I really like, because like Superion with me. So I have limited capability of access, or I have limited access to my figures. So that is, you know what, let's just take VORTEX off. We don't really need him. We're just gonna do Superion to Superion. We don't need VORTEX. All right, so there's Superion. Like I said, I don't have some of my original figures. So, hey, but if you do want to help, I'm living in an apartment building right now. I should be moving back soon. But if you want to help me by clicking on that thanks button or buying me a coffee, everything's in the description below. Let's see. So there is Commander Class Optimus. Surprise, Megatron. Meet Superion. And we've got the Menasor skeleton. Now, that is a pretty cool idea. Now, I tried Slingshot on the arm and it wouldn't work because these are a little different. They're made a little different. Like if I were to put this guy here, yeah, see, the holes don't line up on that side because you got all this in the way. And this part, there is a little tab that separates it, and you got this big thing here. So I think they learned their lesson, and now all of these guys now are able to combine with each other. But right now, these aren't compatible. Let's just bring in the other Superion. Let's see if we can get a group shot of all three. Yep, pretty cool. But we'll put Menasor away. And God, I wish I had my G1. But whenever I move back and I go through all my totes and I find it, I'll do another video. How about that? All right, so that is Silverbolt, the Superion skeletal system. Now, what I always do is I always transform it back. So let's see if we can transform this guy back real quick. We're just gonna take Slingshot off. All right, and these, it's nice if you put your thumb here and then lift up. All right, so put your thumb here on the bottom and then lift up. Okay, and these we're gonna go push them, put them back into configuration. So they just go back up like that. Arm folds in. So here's one piece. All right, again, they're extended. So what you want to do is you want to push them all up again, fold that in, There's another piece. We'll take air raid off. And I forgot to pull these back. All right, so slide these out. Let's see. We'll unhook that, and then we'll just push these in, fold these down, and we'll fold this down, and then fold that down as 1 foot. Again, we'll pull this out, fold this down, fold that down, and fold this down. And then let's see, again, you got a square and a circle. So look for the corresponding square and circle like that. And that side's done. And then you look for the square and circle. So this side's done. And then now for him, we're gonna unpeg this, lift this up, and then you wanna flip this little piece up like that, and then pull these out. So remember, it connects there, there, and back here. So we're gonna put him to the side. Okay, so we're gonna fold these straight down. We're gonna fold this here and fold that there. So we're gonna put these two pieces together. You've got square tab, square tab, square tab. All that gets put together like that. So you got back of the jet. And then this, let's see. You want these two connectors to go in here. So I guess you would just, see now these, well, later on you might have to move them in the base mode, but I might never go to base mode again. So now these two go here, and then you've got these two will go back here. So just connect this. Oh, and actually these tabs even go in here. So those tabs go in there. Let's see, fold that down to lock it in. And then this tab, and then this tab. And there it is. So you're back to Silverbolt. And then we'll take our Silverbolt figure, undo the legs first, bring them down. Let's just go back in jet mode. So we'll pull this down. God, I always think I'm gonna break this because mine's so hard to bring down. I don't want to break it. There. Yeah, I don't want to break mine. Oh, we're just gonna turn the head around. Oh, we're going into jet mode, so we don't have to do that actually. Why is mine always doing this? It must be... All right, so actually we didn't have to do all that. I forgot I'm going back into jet mode. And there is jet mode. That double right here. Double jointed leg. All right. Okay, and then we'll split the wing. Fold this up. Take this out. And I wanted to show you something else too. Flip these up. And we're gonna push this right back in there. Flip the wings up. I just want to show you something real quick to end this review. All right. And we're just gonna push that in. Oh, those stupid things are gonna keep falling out, so just be aware that these things do fall out a lot. Oh, I didn't pull these wings out. That's why I was stopping. See, all these little intricacies you got to pull these little wings out to expose the tab. All right. Now what I want to show you is the original G1 Silverbolt had like a little repair bay mode. So if you want to take this guy, all right, so now he's in a superjet mode, and I wish there was a way you could plug these guys in here. I mean, there, we'll just take these two, and with a little imagination, he could be a helicarrier. We'll get a bird's eye view of that, huh? So, okay, that is it for this review. I know it's a little long, but it was worth it. This guy is a really good guy. I mean, I've been waiting 40-something years for this. Just be careful of these little horns keep popping off. Be careful of, you know, make sure these are straight or else it won't go into that. And basically, and like my joint right here is real tight, so I just got to watch out for that. But other than that, enjoy it, and make sure you like and subscribe. Turn on notifications. Like I said, if you want to leave me a super thanks, contribute to the channel, or buy me a coffee, there's a link in the description below. Like, subscribe, and all that good stuff. And Rodimusbill, see ya.
One Autobot gave his life so that 6 could be born. He made a choice. The kind of choice I hope they'll be able to make when the time's right. Vector Sigma? Give these machines personality worthy of him who created me. Let them think for themselves, to grow in knowledge and wisdom, and let them always value freedom and life wherever they find it. Welcome to the Autobot team. I am Optimus Prime, and we welcome you, Aerialbots.
What's happening, dudes?
Hi. I used to be a courier ship, but now I think I'm Silverbolt.
And I'm Air Raid.
Jeez, what is this place? Who are you guys?
Who are you?
Oh, right. I'm Fireflight.
I'm Skydive.
I'm Slingshot. Used to be a speed shuttle. Now I'm the fastest, smartest, hottest jet you ever saw.